Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan. And just disclaimer, if you have not read this book or any of the Percy Jackson series, please leave. I'm saying this for your own good. You're going to want to just click the little X right now and come back when you are finished. Okay, so my main feeling about this book is just disappointment, which is really, really sad. I wanted to love this book so bad, but I didn't. One of my main issues with it was the POVs. We did not need to have both Reina and Nico point of views. Like, I understand that we needed one of them so that we could see what was going on with the statue, but both, it was unnecessary. I feel like there was more focus on them than there was of the 7 half-bloods, which the 7 half-bloods of the prophecy, the main characters, felt like side characters to Reina and Nico. And I love Reina and Nico, but like, you can't just choose the last book to switch your main characters, you know? Another issue, which is kind of along the same lines, where was Percy and Annabeth? Percy and Annabeth were side characters, which was so upsetting to me because, like, I understand they're not the main characters. There are 7 main characters, but, like, this was the last book we were ever going to see Percy and Annabeth in, and, like, I felt like we didn't really even get to say goodbye after, for me, 8 years of reading about Percy and Annabeth's adventures. I felt like I didn't even get to say goodbye to them. With Hazel and Frank, also kind of took a backseat, and they're part of the 7. So like, why? I don't know, man. My other issue is I felt like, okay, Gaia, or is that how you pronounce it? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but like, I felt like they should have made a way bigger deal out of the final fight. Like, I just felt like it just went by like that, and like, you know, you have this huge build-up for what, like 9, yeah, for 9, well, okay, technically for 4 books, about defeating Gaia, and then the battle is over in like 2 seconds flat. Like, what is this? It was just so anticlimactic to me. And also I did not like how it was just Jason. It felt like just Jason, Piper, and Leo were the only ones needed to defeat her. And like, I understand that everybody kind of did their part along the way, but like, as the final battle, it would have been so much more satisfying if, you know, all 7 of them had been fighting her together. And like, there's a part where Percy's like, oh, take us off with you, but Jason's like, oh no, I don't need you, or whatever. And like, I felt like it would have been like, so like, yes, and epic to have all 7 of them fighting side by side, fighting side by side to defeat Gaia, and like having this big epic battle, and like, I wanted to see them struggle to defeat her. It just felt so easy, and it was just disappointing. What I would have done is I would have switched defeating Gaia and the Doors of Death, and I would have made closing the Doors of Death the main problem, because like House of Hades was really epic. Like, there was Percy and Annabeth were in Tartarus, like fighting for their lives, and the rest of the 7, you know, were all fighting their way to get to them so that they could close the doors at the same time. Like, I just felt like that was so much more climatic than this. So personally, I would have made a big deal out of closing the Doors of Death and a smaller deal out of Gaia. Okay, speaking of Tartarus, that's another issue I had with not having like Percy and Annabeth hardly in the book, was I would have loved to see the effects that Tartarus had on Percy and Annabeth, because they went through hell, and not even through the underworld, through the deepest part of hell and back, and I would have loved to see like the after effects on them, like how it affected them, because, you know, you're not going to come out of that unscathed. So I thought we were going to get to see, you know, the effects of Tartarus on Percy and Annabeth, but we really didn't. I kind of have an issue. This is going to be a really unpopular opinion, but I kind of have an issue with Leo's character. Like, okay, well, first off, I didn't like how Leo sacrificed himself because it was so predictable that I was just expecting it the whole time. And Leo is very whiny to me. Like, he bothers me, because he's just like, oh, I don't have a boyfriend, or I don't have a girlfriend. Poor me. Everyone else has a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Oh, my life, it just sucks. And like, okay, like I understand that being hard, but at the same time, you have people trying to kill you. You have to save the world from the Titan mother. Like, don't you have other things on your mind than just, oh, I don't have a girlfriend. The world is ending, when the world is actually ending, but he's like not focused on that. Like, especially because it's a middle grade book, like a healthy point of view to show Leo just feeling sorry for himself all the time and then being rewarded for feeling sorry for himself. Like, I personally don't feel like Leo's a good role model. However, Reina, on the other hand, okay, let's talk about Reina. I loved this girl. Like, before this book, that was the one good thing about this book for me. Before this book, I kind of just felt indifferent to her character. I didn't dislike her, but I didn't like her, you know. I loved her in this book. Reina is a strong role model because, like, my favorite book in the whole book is when she says, I don't define myself by the boys who may or may not like me. And I was like, yeah, you go, girl. Because, and I liked that Reina didn't end up with anybody, and she was able to be, you know, and that's not to say that she's never going to find love, but I liked how she was able to be strong in herself, especially because these characters are 15, 16, 17, like, finding a boyfriend or a girlfriend doesn't need to be the most important thing in their lives right now, especially with all the other crap they have to deal with. And I loved Reina, and I loved her backstory, and I loved her. Oh, okay, so you know the one scene where Blackjack gets shot? I cried, like, I'm not even kidding. Like, we've been with Blackjack since book 2 of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, so I thought Blackjack was going to die, and I was like, what? You can't, no. But then he didn't die, so, Okay, speaking of which, nobody died. Okay, Leo dying does not count. I don't think he died. Like, an oath to keep with a final breath, that does not count. That was a crappy portrayal of the prophecy. I am sorry. Like, if you're saying someone is gonna die, you gotta kill someone. I'm sorry if that sounds horrible, but like, we were promised 2 deaths, and everybody is speculating for a whole year who's gonna die, and then it's Leo, who doesn't actually die, and Octavian, who we don't care about. What? Okay, and then Octavian's death, that was really dark stuff. Like, I don't think, like, the way he writes it makes it seem not as heavy. Octavian, and Nico's like, no. And Nico let him kill himself, which is like, that's like really dark stuff. Although I'm not going to say that I didn't like the fact, like, I kind of, that was the one, like, fulfillment of the prophecy, or like that Octavian's gonna be the one to save Rome, and he was, but in a really twisted way. I kind of like that. I was like, oh. Yeah, that was kind of dark. Nico and Will Solus, I ship it, but at the same time, kind of came out of nowhere. Oh, I like the part where Nico's all like, oh, well, everyone at camp rejected me, and Will Solus is like, listen here, like, the only reason you don't have friends is because you push everyone away, and you could have friends if you wanted to. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty true. I'm like, yeah. Okay, well, I guess I should talk about some things I liked, because I didn't hate the book at all. I feel like if it would have been, like, in the middle of the series, I would have loved it, but because it was the end, it was not a good ending. But there were some things I liked. I liked the part where they were fighting Nike. That part was fun. And she's like, oh, kill your friends, and you could have this Leaf crown could be yours. That part was funny. Oh, I like the part where they're under the sea with Kim. That one, and they were like, Giant was like, no, not merchandising. That part was funny. I liked Piper and Annabeth's little journeys together because I really loved their friendship, and I loved both of them, and their friendship was a lot of fun to explore. Wow. Oh, well, I liked Raina's chapters. That's like basically all I liked. Wow, that's kind of sad. Oh, I like the part where at the campfire, Reina gets up and hugs Nico, and Nico just like breaks down into tears. That was like really emotional. And I like that part, and I like that Nico finally gets to be happy because this kid has had a tragic life. Oh, speaking of Nico, okay, so there's like this part where Nico's like, oh, but since when have I ever cared about doing what's right? And I was like, since forever? Since the Titan's curse? Like one of the big parts of his character is Nico always does, or always tries to do, the right thing. What? Didn't make any sense to me. And I guess you can argue, oh, he was just doing it for Percy. No, I'm sorry, that's a dumb excuse. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else to say on this book. Basically, you know, if it was a middle book, it would have been great, but for a final book, it was anticlimactic, and I was disappointed. When I finished the book, I kind of felt, like, hollow inside. Where's the rest of the book? Where's the rest? I'm not trying to bash Rick Riordan at all, because he wrote 9 wonderful, wonderful books, and you know how some people grew up with Harry Potter? I grew up with Percy. We still have 9 fabulous books that we can read over and over and over again. So I'm very thankful that he wrote these books. It's just that as the final book, I would have liked it to be different and climatic and epic. And it wasn't. What can you do? I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh, wait, one more thing. Let's talk about POVs for 1 second. The POV choice was very poor. If I had done POVs, I would have made Percy, because we've been with Percy. I've been with Percy since 4th grade. I don't know how long you've been with Percy. I've been with Percy for 8 years, so I would have liked some Percy. Percy, Jason, because it started with Jason, so it's fitting that it ends with Jason. Piper, and Hazel, and either Reina or Nico. I would choose either or, because it was useless. Like, there was no point in having both of their point of views. That's how I would have done it. Comment down below, which POVs would you have chosen for this book? And, or, not even that, he could have just done it how he did in, like, House of Hades, where just choose the character that fits the chapter. That would have been even better. So, yeah, comment down below, who do you think should have had POVs in this book? Did you like the book? Did you dislike it? I'd love to see your guys' opinions on this and see if any are the same as mine or different as mine. And, yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I will see you later. Bye!